Welcome to the Raw Review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another Dolly Boys, Michael Sidgwick from WhatCulture, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Raw. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Sidgwick to review last night's Raw and all the fallout from SummerSlam.
Yeah, I'll level with you. I was really bored. And certain developments on this show really and truly underscored that nothing ever happens on this show. Like, nothing ever happened. I have seen frigates move more quickly than Paul Levesque's booking. When I saw the end of this show, as well done as it was, right, it was just bloody, what do I watch? Every Tuesday morning, bleary-eyed. Now it happens. And we got a full, just, exclamation point on that. Nothing ever happens on Raw, ever. I will say, though, maybe this is a naked retention strategy. There was something on this show that I went, I love that, and I expected you to love it, and we're going to bond over the Fed.
Ooh, and I was saying before we started recording, I was a bit I watched on this show that I thought, well, I'm really excited to talk to Michael Sidgwick about that, mainly because he'll hate it. I didn't feel too great about it either, and maybe we'll bond over that as well.
Bonding.
But I think arguably as well, yeah, it's how you feel about, I'm going to call them the Vision going forward, because obviously, as you said, they were sort of all over this show. But I did enjoy Adam Pearce's sod it, it's the Raw after SummerSlam attitude as this show went on. We kick off the show.
Just on that, there was a theme of wrestlers bickering. They want matches. Adam Pearce would come out and go, bloody hell, you've got it. They were like basically hanging a lantern, hanging a lampshade on just the most generic Raw you've ever seen. But it's different because Adam Pearce was feeling some kind of way.
Yeah.
Odd.
So we get a big sort of highlight reel of everything that went on at SummerSlam to kick off the show. And then obviously the show opens with this. Out comes the Vision, Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, and the two Bronnies. They walk down to the ring, and Paul Heyman says, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and let's be clear about the evidence that is before you. I am the GOAT. I am not just the greatest of all time. I am your humble oracle. Humbled by the fact I stand here tonight in the presence of the future WWE big dog. Future of the WWE. The big dog who patrols our yard, Braun.
Yard!
Yard.
What's a yard? I know what a yard is.
It's just quite a posh way. It was the yard. The
yard.
The yard of the big dog.
Yard.
The big dog.
Yard.
The big dog who patrols our yard, Braun Breaker. Humbled by the fact I stand here tonight as the same ring as the tribal thief, the owner of the Shula Fala. We like that.
We do like that.
Yeah. Big Bronson Reed. And now, I normally would be introducing you to the champ, the OTC, Roman Reigns. But let's be honest, he hasn't been champion for a year and a half now. Or maybe the champion of the world, the best in the world, CM Punk. But CM Punk wasn't even champion long enough to put the side plates on his title belt. You were all part of it on Saturday night. Not only did CM Punk have one of the greatest title matches in history with Gunther, but there he was thanking you for chanting his name, bringing him back to WWE after a decade. And he thought he'd be married to that title forever, but he wasn't, because not only did Seth Rollins crash the wedding, he stole the honeymoon with the title, and she was good. Let's do this properly. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Seth freaking Rollins. And Seth says, Brooklyn, shame on you. Shame on each and every single one of you who turned your back on me after I won the main event of WrestleMania. People who've haunted me for the last few months with chants of CM Punk or the OTC. Here's a lesson. Never, ever doubt Seth freaking Rollins again. Is Roman Reigns the World Heavyweight Champion? No. CM Punk the World Heavyweight Champion? Also no. I'm the World Heavyweight Champion, says Seth. And yeah, shame on each and every one of you who turned your back on me. I've been a mark man for months. Shame on each and every single person in that locker room who made it their mission to stop me from successfully cashing in my Money in the Bank contract. Everyone thinks they're so smart, Paul. Well, I need to remind you, I always have a plan B. This plan B was top secret. I told 2 people in the entire world. One was my beautiful, incredible intercontinental champion of a wife, and the other was my oracle. Together we've achieved what we set out to achieve. We have absolute power. Nobody can stop us. This is the past, the present, and the future. This is the way forward. This is the vision. Then bing bong, squeeze me. Out comes LA Knight. Yeah. And he walks down. He congratulates Seth on his title win. And says, look, I'm not looking for a fight. I'm just asking questions, says LA Knight. You already had the briefcase, so you didn't really need to fake an injury. The only reason you faked an injury was to get out of taking a beating by me at Saturday night's main event. I was the last one to beat you. I should be the next one to beat you, he says. I'm going to take that World Heavyweight title off you, giving you another really short reign. What I'm saying is there's no better place than here, and there's no better time than now. Seth says, you got some nuts, Knight. You want to come to my ring and challenge me for my World Heavyweight title? You don't think I got the guts? You don't think I got the balls? I got the balls. Want to find me right here, right now, tonight in Brooklyn, live on Netflix for the World Heavyweight Championship. Seth freaking Rollins versus LA Knight. No. And he goes to leave. Ron Breakker just sort of laughs at LA Knight in all this. But then, yes, Postman Pearce appears on the stage and says, look, normally I wouldn't make a world title match with no promotion. But then again, normally a world champion and his medical team wouldn't lie to me and my medical team and everyone else. To hell with normal. Seth Rollins, LA Knight for the World Championship tonight in Brooklyn. And you know what? Since, Seth, you stole a great moment from the fans, I'm going to steal something from you. The 2 Bronnies are banned from ringside.
Oh, a lot to unpack, but also not much. I appreciated LA Knight from his position, his perspective, accusing Seth Rollins of doing a fake injury for no reason other than to escape his wrath or whatever. That still doesn't really excuse the fact that it's not really joined together, in my opinion, but fair play. They've had a little attempt to explain that they weren't, to try and defend themselves from accusations that they'd overthought it and they were trying to be too clever for their own good. And it resumes that program, which has implications later on the show, to a feud or a little side thing that I'm actually not into at all. Otherwise, like, again, just underscoring that nothing ever happens every week, or it feels like every single week, the Vision come out and just give you, in classic WWE Raw style, and by classic, I mean abysmal, just a 10-minute exposition dump.
Quite a nice break when Seth was injured, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was lovely.
It
was absolutely beautiful. It was like being in Crete, sweltering, just in that heat, with a nice, potent cocktail. Loved it. Now you're back to, I don't know, what's the opposite of a nice, potent cocktail? I don't know, but Seth Rollins is the Sunday Scaries of professional wrestling. So there is that. Just a 10-minute exposition dump confirming, and this will get, again, a brutal reminder in that main event, that basically I've spent 3 months watching Rollins turn, win Money in the Bank, and that was it. That's basically all that's happened. There's been some stuff in between, yeah, whatever. That's basically what's happened here, you know? Did you catch Adam Pearce? You know how we don't really do bits on this podcast, but if we did bits, there's a bit where we all do it. You'll say a word wrong, and I'll go, oh, you idiot. Who do you think you are doing that? I have a similar thing, which is informed, again, not many bits, but thoughts instead of thoughts. For whatever reason, I don't want to say it's like an impediment, really, but every now and then I will vowel swap. Okay. Where I'll just say, I don't like thoughts. You know, I'll just get the vowels wrong. Did you hear Adam Pearce? No. I'll play it back to you in the office downstairs. He's meant to say promotion. He says promotion. No, it just tickled me. Bit Geordie. Yeah, promotion. I will show you it when we get downstairs. Otherwise, just, the exposition dump of WWE. Emphasis on dump.
We go to the... don't go to the clubhouse, actually. It's just the Judgment Day walking backstage. Dom's very happy about outsmarting AJ Styles, Finn Balor.
Not difficult.
Finn Balor says he didn't doubt him for a second, but Raquel and Roxanne are upset. Obviously, they say they need to regroup. And Dom, confident now he is, swagging around, walks up to the LWO and says, "Why are you standing in my hallway? Not showing me any respect. I'm the king of the luchadors." Dragon Lee's like, "You want to earn my respect? Let's have a match then. Let's have a bare knuckle fight then." Dom says, "All right." They set that up for later.
So what's the impromptu match counter on this week's Raw? It's like
3.
It's like Vincian, isn't it?
It's at least 3 because there's the 2 title matches and this.
Yeah.
AJ Styles comes in and, he doesn't want to fight. He's not going to slap him around just yet anyway. He says, "Look, you're clever what you did at SummerSlam, but I'm still coming for that IC title. You're going to run out of tricks at the end of the day, pound for pound, move for move. I'm one of the best." And he tells Dom that time's running out, and Dom's like, yeah, it is running out for you, old man. Got him.
Did get him. No.
We expected Dom to continue because they're going to France. So obviously.
Makes all the sense.
Then the big match that I know Sidgwick's looking forward to on this week's show, Rusev versus Sheamus. The only match that we knew was happening on this week's show, let's be honest, on the preview yesterday. Again, another hard-hitting affair. These two love just beating the crap out of each other, as we saw pretty much throughout this show. Sheamus hits Rusev with a big lariat early on, sends him over the top rope, but then Rusev fights back and sends him into the barrier. Sheamus eventually gets Rusev up on his shoulders and hit a white noise off the top. That looked great. But we go to a break following that. Rusev takes over. When we come back, Sheamus wants more from Rusev. That sort of fires him up, and he leaps up, and it's an Irish curse backbreaker. Sheamus goes for a bro kick, but Rusev ducks it. Rusev sends him into the ring post, sends him to the outside. But once they're out there, Sheamus slams him into the announce table. Rusev responds by sending Sheamus into the steps, and then Rusev dragged him onto the barricade, chops Sheamus, taunts, but then Sheamus, in all of this, reverses it and starts doing the 10 beats of the Bodhrán. Then the referee's like, "You've been out there for ages, lads." Calls for the no contest double countout.
Oh, God, are you taking the piss?
And then they wouldn't stop brawling at ringside all throughout the arena for the rest of the show, basically. Security are terrible at their job.
Like, I don't know what they're playing at with this. I mean, I know what they're playing at. They are building some kind of stip match.
Yeah.
Where it must go to a finish, whether it's like, I mean, they've just done a steel cage, so maybe not that, maybe no DQ, no count out, some kind of whatever, right? What an overambitious idea. Like, I will say this crowd was pretty flat all night, which really didn't help like the viewing experience of this show. But they actually came up for bits of this. They liked, I thought Rusev was really good in the crowd, like telling him to fuck off and all the rest.
He always is good value for that sort of thing, isn't he?
He's good value, really good value as a heel. To the extent that maybe he needs to, especially in the WWE environment, maybe soften up the presentation, which worked incredibly well in AEW, and particularly at that time when there was a dearth of monster heels. And I thought he was awesome. But maybe in WWE, he needs to make it a bit more broad, a bit more theatrical, Like,
steal some more television monitors.
You know what I mean? Just like be a little bit more, I don't know, just broad is the word.
Yeah.
And like, so I think the fans really connected with him when he was doing like the 10 beats of the Bodhrán and like just, playing the prick, projecting himself as this arsehole. And then he got his comeuppance.
Yeah.
And the fans loved that. And then it ended. And I'm thinking, we're doing a fourth match when the first one was, pleasingly physical, if overlong and bereft of heat. That's your, start of a big saga.
That's the 7 series.
But people don't care. People evidently aren't interested. They were to an extent in this one, but it's almost like they pushed their luck. Like, they finally got into it to a degree, and then it just ended. Oh, God, I can't wait for Rusev Sheamus 4. But that Roman numeral on there, Jesus, wept. It was just immensely frustrating.
It was a bit something to nothing, and it's not nothing to them. They're taking horrible bumps and hitting each other really hard. But
it was just, again, nothing ever happens on Raw. Like, we saw what is getting resumed on the back of night one of SummerSlam and this Raw, right? we're still doing the Luchadors versus Grande Americanos.
They're multiplying.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we're still doing Rusev Sheamus. It's like nothing ever happens on this TV program.
It happens in bursts, doesn't it? It's like some weeks is just continuing the cycle, and then something big will happen, like a Roman return or whatever it might be. This was an episode where they were looking ahead to like Clash in Paris and what have you, and obviously long term with Seth as a world champion. But some stuff they were just like, just roll it over to next week probably.
Yeah, boring, just uninspiring, repetitive slop.
One of those things has kind of grown on me though, and that's the New Day in their morning face.
Well,
we are backstage, and yeah, we've seen the New Day dressed all in black, feeling very sorry for themselves. I've never seen that hat.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Is that? I'm gonna look on if that's on WWE Shop yet, because
describe the hat to the listeners and the viewers.
In certain like sort of a bit lazy American comedies, if there was like a cowboy that they were trying to make fun of, they would make like a comically sized cowboy hat, for example. Or like in the Danhausen interview relatively recently with Simon Miller, he's wearing a cap, but that cap's too big for a human's head. This was, I don't know, the size of a giant, like a table, giant black table.
Yeah.
With like frilly bits hanging off.
It looked like Julia Hart's hat to a degree.
Yes, indeed. But
about 10 times bigger. This thing was a masterpiece.
And just when I thought, well, this is incredible. That's the incredible hat alarm. If you can hear
yes,
that.
It is. Yeah,
we very rarely hear that. Just when I thought, well, that's incredible. Nothing topping that. Penta threw it like it was. I don't know. I've seen people compare it to like something out of Mortal Kombat or something with like a razor's edge to it. When he threw it out the ring, it flew perfectly. I was like, how can we do more of that sort of thing?
No, I need this hat in more of my life.
Like squaring up to, I've jumped ahead a little bit, but squaring up to anyone, particularly Penta, wearing that hat. So everyone's like, come on, then. What are you going to do about it? I've got my giant hat on. He's like arm's length away due to the brim of the hat. Yeah, Grayson Waller, though, makes no mention of this when he walks in. He says, look, you weren't there for me last week. And Kofi's like, look, I get it. You're happy because you got rid of Austin Theory, but we're still in mourning. We're still hurting. We're not in the right sort of headspace to fight anybody like Sheamus or anything like that. We're not going to be getting it back on track until we get our world titles back. And there's a bit where I thought, can you put the world title on the hat? Anyway, Kofi blames GM Adam Pearce for
you make the world title a hat, and if you win it, you just have to wear that hat.
Yes.
It's more impressive to me than the title designs.
More chance of Cody wearing that than the King of the Ring crown.
Yeah.
So Grayson Waller walks up to Postman Pearce, they've just been bad-mouthing. He's in the middle of a conversation with Penta. And he's like, we need to talk. Bit busy. He's like, oi, baldy. Like, Pearce is like, I'm not in the mood for that tonight. You can fight Penta. This was from earlier on in the day, which is why the match immediately followed it. But New Day is in mourning with these hats.
It's amazing. I'm telling you now, it's amazing. Here's the thing about the New Day. It's old ground. Won't go to travel across it too far. They completely botched the heel turn, the Big E betrayal. They were very quickly not a main event level concern. I had a bit of an epiphany watching this. Like, I mean, that idea is completely dead, and they should get pelters pretty much on a weekly basis for squandering it, right? But now that I'm over it, and he never coming back, I'm just going to learn to love, like, funny mid-card heel New Day. I can't take it seriously. Who cares? It's banter, and this new tone that they've arrived at is genuinely brilliant. Like, again, like, this hat was a masterpiece. And skipping ahead, Kofi Kingston's in mourning voice is wonderful. I found him so funny on this program last night, genuinely. Like, we'll get to it and we'll get to it.
Yes.
But I thought the New Day, I think this is a bit of a hit. Personally, I think it's wonderful.
Like the fact we'll get to it. So Penta Grayson Waller, obviously Penta kicked his ass. Waller like did a strut early on and Penta immediately battered him and then hit his own I think he walked on his own back. He hit a Rana to send Grayson to the outside. New Day come out to do commentary.
Can I talk about the commentary before you do the match
Yes,
recap?
please do.
In case I forget, right? So they're on commentary and they're in mourning, obviously, because they're grieving the idea that they've lost the titles and aren't getting a rematch automatically anyway. So they're in mourning. They're in that sort of like absolutely preposterous black funeral attire, if you like. Kofi Kingston is amazing. He's got this voice, right, where it's like this sort of soft, weak, solemn voice, this like self-pity voice. And he says to Michael Cole, "Kiss my hand?"
I think so, yeah.
Please kiss my hand, Michael. Please kiss my hand, Michael. And then Corey Graves does it and goes, "See, Michael, I'm vulnerable. You should kiss my hand, Michael." Kofi Kingston is genuinely hilarious in this role.
I've got a weird sense of humor because, like, I hate funerals. I think they're awful. But a funeral, like black comedy funeral, you know, the classic, like, I really never know. Is it IT crowd? I never know what to say at a funeral. Just tell me you're sorry for the loss and move on. And they go, "I'm sorry for your loss, move on," like that. Things like that, or you know, just like really preposterous. It was a bit. Anne-Louise was watching Veep last night. I need to watch more Veep. It's Armando Iannucci, isn't it? It's very good. And Julie Louise Dreyfus.
Yes, Dreyfus as
Dreyfus.
well.
Yes,
as she's known. Only close friends.
There was a bit last night where
that's right.
They were in a meeting. They were in a meeting, and they were trying to avoid someone who was like someone from the like oil lobby who wanted to bollock her, and they were like, "Use the widow." They were like, "No one could shout at you if you're with the widow." She's like, "Quick, come with me, widow." This poor grieving woman. I've got a really weird sense of humor when it comes to that. So it really tickled me. I'm very, very vulnerable. Please kiss my hand.
Please kiss my hand. Please kiss my hand, Michael.
One of the few times we actually pay attention to the commentary on Raw. Waller at one point took over and sent Penta into the announce table, but Penta came back with a sling blade, backbreaker, headstand kick. Waller hit a sit-out powerbomb for a 2-count, actually. I should mention that.
It looked rubbish.
Missed the top rope elbow.
It did as well.
Waller did that thing where he rolls into the ring to hit his finish, but he got hit with a super kick, and the Mexican Destroyer from Penta gets the 1-2-3.
I tell you what, right? This was a nothing match. Half of it looked pretty ropey, and it didn't last very long at all. This Mexican Destroyer, this wacky Mexican Destroyer that Penta hits on Grayson Waller, looked like the tits. It looked completely tits, right? And one of my least favorite things about professional wrestling across both of the companies, right, is the commentary. It's like, I just can't take seriously the idea that they really truly believe in what they're watching. It just feels so produced and packaged and bereft of emotion. A little bit too light-hearted across the board. So I'm just not a fan of the commentary, right? When something's good, it really stands out. This might be my favorite commentary performance across the two companies this year. Between Kofi Kingston just being hilarious at the booth, right? And I just do not like Michael Cole. I think he's hysterical, so produced. I never buy into the narrative that he's much better now that Vince isn't around. It's like he's still an incredibly synthetic voice. He lost his mind when Penta did that wacky Destroyer. And it just, when you've got a dialed-in commentator who's genuinely blown away and invested in what they're watching authentically, it's such a rare, elusive thrill in 2025. So this match just instantly got much better for me, even though that powerbomb from Grayson Waller looked like it was ace.
And the setup for this post-fight, well, it wasn't really a fight. It was great. So Penta wins. The New Day, now the match is over, cares slightly more about Grayson Waller. And the blocking is Kofi Kingston is kneeling down to check on Grayson Waller. And Xavier Woods, as I mentioned, in his giant, ridiculous hat, is going up to Penta and going, "Hey, what are you doing that for, eh, dickhead?" And Penta shoves him, and they do the classic, I've spilled over and tripped over my mate who's kneeling down behind me. Kofi runs at him, gets sent out to the floor. Penta gets Woods out there as well and steals his hat, wears it, does his little dance, and then, like I said, just flings it to the outside. And whilst they're understandably so like, he threw a hat at us, he hits a somersault out onto back.
It looked awesome as well. Good night for Penta.
Yeah.
He could definitely, I don't think he can be a world or WWE champion. I just can't see it. Almost certainly, if he gets slots into a PLE main event for a title, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm buying the idea of the match, if not him winning it.
He's, at the bare minimum, and I don't want to dismiss him because I think he's really talented, like you say. I could see him winning a mid-card title. I think he could challenge.
I think
for a
that's
world
like
title.
inevitable at this point, yeah.
But he's one of those ones like you could just have him in Money in the Bank every year forever going forward, and people would be like, "Yep, give me some mad spot with Penta in, no doubt." Following this, we see the new tag champs Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair walking through the back, but again, Rusev and Sheamus just start fighting through, and security are just like chasing after them. Sheamus throws Rusev into some load of piping or whatever it is. We also got during this, I think this was going into an ad break, because this was when I was skipping through and I was like, oh no, they've not put Naomi's new, promo just in the ad break. She sort of slagged off the crowd. It was very much a sort of inset promo that they were doing here. Thankfully, we got more from Naomi later because I was like, don't do that to Naomi.
Not Naomi.
Yeah. And then this was the bit where we got Michael Cole when we came back talking about...
By my elbow.
Talking about Brock Lesnar's return with regards to Triple H and Nick Khan, and apparently it was agreed weeks ago that it was time to bring him home.
This was so odd.
Yeah.
Right. We talked at length about Lesnar yesterday. I don't care to do it again. Right. But
Some lovely comments about what you said, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone who left them.
Thank you. This is odd in several ways. One, just the idea of like when someone, I don't know if I might be thinking about this too deeply, right? But when someone says like, oh, it's time for you to come home, does that not imply forgiveness? Like, come home. It's like there's a forgiveness connotation there, which completely disgusted me, quite frankly. So the optics of framing it like that, I thought was a little bit revolting. More to the point, like, isn't the whole idea? And again, he's playing heel again. He was a heel against Cody. He's been a babyface, but the idea is going up against the new babyface, John Cena. He's coming in as this heel. Why frame it as this nice sentimental return of this guy?
He's coming back home to kill John Cena.
Yeah, we're bringing him home. You're all right. You're all right. Ruffling Brock Lesnar's hair is ridiculous for the optics and for the fictional character.
Yeah.
Come home. You're all right. Come home. It's like Brock Lesnar, shouldn't he?
You almost derailed our quarterback.
Yeah, isn't it like the idea is that it's never really been Lesnar's home? Yes, he's played a baby face upon returning since 2012, but the idea is he never really
mercenary,
fit in.
Isn't he? Yeah,
he's a mercenary. He never liked it between 2002 and 2004. He came back to smugly laugh at the idea that your work rate favorite would get pushed ahead of him. He killed everybody. He did it for money. He outright said, "Why would I watch a shoe, Paul? Why would I watch a shoe?" He doesn't love it. It's not his home. It's just a place for him to. It was just so odd and rank.
I saw a weird thing as well that was like legal cleared Brock Lesnar. I was like, I don't understand what that sentence means. People are tying themselves in knots online about this. He's named 44 times, and the stuff that he's mentioning is allegedly horrific.
Yeah,
it's just such a strange thing of just like, well, we're going to hear more from Cena and Cody about all this. Bring Brock Lesnar home.
Odd.
And here is the bit with the world champions coming out, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. This is the bit I was talking about earlier. Oh, God. Just when I was like, these two, I love this pair, and they're so good.
This is so awkward.
Oh, my God. I was like, hey, is this still happening? Can we just get to whatever's coming? I was like, I'm going to have to get this verbatim because I want people to experience what this was like. So they come out, obviously get a great reaction. This is really working for Charlotte and obviously for Alexa, but mainly for Charlotte. Charlotte says, thanks. That might be my first "you deserve it" chant. Thank you, Brooklyn. After SummerSlam, it feels amazing to be champion again. And they do the little bit. Could have just done one and moved on from it, but they did it throughout their entire angle. With Alexa Bliss being like, well, say you're champion. I think you mean, we're champions again. She's like, all right, yeah. Nice to do something as a we rather than just a me. And maybe if you stop hitting me in the head, maybe, we could be something more than that. Let's not put a label on it. And Alexa's like, oh, what are you going to say there? Charlotte's like, oh, I'm not going to say anything. Alexa's like, oh, I thought you were going to say the F word. Charlotte Flair said, you're such a pain in my A word. I was like, oh, no, don't do this, please. Anyway, that's right, I am, says Alexa. Hey, and as long as you have these titles, you're stuck with me. Flair says, yeah, we're going to have this forever. I'm now the 14-time plus the 2-time champ.
What?
My brain broke there.
Right there, bro.
The 14-time plus the 2 times tag champ plus the 2 times NXT champion. How many times have you been champion? Alexa's like, you serious? Charlotte's like, oh, yeah. Flair math. How many times have you been champion? Alexa's like, oh, the Raw title, SmackDown title. Charlotte's like, doesn't matter, actually. It's like, what are we doing? What is happening here? Out comes the former champions, the Judgment Day.
Thank God.
Raquel and Roxanne are here, thank goodness. Raquel says, come on, please. Who wants to be friends with Charlotte, Alexa? I know I wouldn't. Roxanne's like, nope. Anybody care? Nobody cares you want to be friends. I don't care. They don't care. Raquel doesn't care. All that matters is bringing the gold back to the Judgment Day. And Raquel basically says, we want a rematch. We want to take our titles back. Alexa's like, you think what I'm thinking? And Charlotte's like, yeah, I mean, if we agree on one thing, it's that we never back down from a challenge loser. Oh, they said the wrong thing. They're going to put the titles back on the line. And we're going to kick your A words right here.
Who writes this, genuinely? Imagine having...
Postman Spears comes out and says, oh, bollocks, yeah, we'll have the rematch.
Imagine having the arrogance to, if you're Paul Levesque, this vanity project vehicle that is WWE Unreal, to just make you seem like this creative demigod, this puppet master of the best cinematic stories, right? And you put yourself forward as the face of WWE. It's the Paul Levesque era. Obviously, Vince is a far worse human being, but he never said the Vince McMahon era. Like, Paul Levesque is absolutely desperate. I might even say, Wilbourn, he's even more desperate than you for a pop. Okay? Ooh. And he puts himself forward, and he's like, this is what we do, huh? Cinema, aura, moments. This resurgence, the renaissance, this little bit of magic. This is what we do, you know? Puts himself forward as king and then he puts this on his program, like A word. This is not only the material. I felt sorry for them because the material was so poor. This is that rare, wonderful schadenfreude of like the material being almost as excruciating as the delivery. I am going to apologize because, you know, not everyone has seen this show, right? But I've got an analogy for Charlotte Flair, which seems incredibly unfair. So I will caveat it by saying Charlotte Flair's more talent than the person I'm about to compare her to, right? But Charlotte Flair is the Sweet D Reynolds of professional wrestling. You know when so it's a program, sitcom, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right? There's a character, Sweet D Reynolds, very tragic. She's got no talent whatsoever. Charlotte Flair does, right? But Sweet D Reynolds has got no talent whatsoever, but she has narcissism and she is a sociopath. So she, in this desperate, excruciating need for approval and people to laugh at her, and just thinks she's cool and funny and going to make it as a star. And it gets funnier the longer it goes because she gets like 40 years old. And it's dark but hilarious. Like an insight into a narcissistic personality, right? And part of Sweet D's thing is that she'll just like talk over people when they're talking, trying to get the jokes off, trying to get those laughs, just suffocating people with her desperate attempt to get over. That was legitimately Charlotte Flair when she was having those verbal interactions with Tiffany Stratton on the road to WrestleMania. Just couldn't get out of her own head in this idea that I need people to cheer me, okay? She was Sweet D Reynolds there. Last night, like the part of the joke of Sweet D Reynolds as well. She hasn't got a funny bone in her body. She is just not funny. Like obviously the portrayal is funny, but she is portraying someone who is excruciatingly unfunny to the point where people are like pissed off at her for being around them. Charlotte Flair's comedic timing when she was doing this A-word stuff was like, it was harrowing.
I hated it.
It was harrowing.
I hated it so much.
She's had a good few weeks, but like, don't try and make this too funny because it ain't. Don't make this too funny because it isn't.
There's the podcast in you having to assign either assign It's Always Sunny characters to people on the roster, or I will give you a roster member and you have to give me the TV character that they remind you of.
Okay.
That's one for down the line.
Indeed, yes.
Going down the line here.
Yeah.
Also, randomly, as you mentioned her, the actress who plays Sweet D is in another TV show that Annalise was watching where she plays some sort of like female genius who helps police with their inquiries, those sort of shows. And I can't watch it because I'm like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. It's just phenomenal. The actress, Caitlin Olsen?
Caitlin Olsen, yeah.
She's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's unbelievable.
And especially for a bird to act, that's very impressive.
Yeah. She's so great.
In the role, yeah. So then we got, so after all this A-word, F-word nonsense, out comes Adam Pearce, who's like, look, normally, I quite like the swerve he did here. He's like, ladies, take a breath.
Yak. Jesus.
That's where you're heading tonight as well. Back to NXT, the home of yak.
Cool.
Ladies, I get it. It's the Raw after SummerSlam.
I noticed that they tried to make that a thing. Because obviously they want the 2-night.
That's what we always call it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone says that.
Everyone says it.
Seen the 2-night plans going forward.
Yep.
2-night Mania, 2-night SummerSlam, 2-night Survivor Series, 2-night Royal Rumble, 2-night Money in the Bank potentially.
I mean,
sign me up.
Dickhead.
This is the thing. I read this and I was like, people will definitely be. I think people would be on board for a 2-night Royal Rumble. I think that makes the most sense out of everything. I think it's like WrestleMania. Then for me, it was always Royal Rumble because it just makes it cleaner and like.
I can't watch the second Rumble match.
Yeah, on the same night. Yeah. And then obviously 2-night War Games, Survivor Series, whatever.
Nah.
I can see them doing that though. The Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank.
Oh, it's Money in the Bank. I know what Money in the Bank is.
When Jay White comes in to win Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank 2-night is the biggest stretch, and yet for me, I'm like, absolutely.
Seth Rollins, was he the right Money in the Bank winner for you?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir, my lord.
So he says, ladies, take a breath.
This is my yard now.
He says, look, tonight's not normal. Sod it, let's have the title match right now. And we get the rematch, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus the Judgment Day. It sort of started during the commercial break when we come back. Bliss is on Raquel's back. She gets thrown off, sent to the corner. Roxanne Perez comes in, sends Alexa into the turnbuckle. But Alexa reverses the third and brings in Charlotte Flair, who batters Roxanne Perez. Raquel comes in. She sends Flair to the mat with a shoulder, bounces her head off the turnbuckle. Perez comes back in and stomps on Flair, brings in Raquel again. But Flair fights back and tags in Alexa, and they do stereo bulldogs. And they get sent out. They send out the Judgment Day to the floor. But when Alexa tries a cannonball, Raquel catches her and slams her into the barricade to take us to another break. Again, when we come back from the break, Bliss tries to get the hot tag to Flair, but Raquel cuts her off. So Bliss hits a DDT and brings in Flair off the top rope to take out Roxanne and Raquel. She hits a lariat, that sort of a buckshot, but without the flipping over the ropes bit on Raquel, and uses Perez as a weapon, just throws her at Raquel Rodriguez. She goes up for a moonsault, lands on both, but only gets a 2 count. And Perez causes a distraction, so Raquel could hit a big boot to Flair. Flair dodges Perez in the corner, though, sends her into the turnbuckle. They both climb to the top rope. Perez hits a Hurricane Rana, and Raquel comes back in for an elbow, but Bliss breaks up the count. In the end, Flair sends Perez out, hits a big boot to Raquel. Bliss comes in and hits a Sister Abigail on Roxanne Perez to retain the titles.
Just some moves, really, this. The only thing I can remember about this match, which made little to no impression on me, the only thing I can really recall hours after it bloody ended, just Charlotte Flair just kicking Raquel's ass pretty much the entire match. She loves it, doesn't she? Kicking ass. I'm the queen of the night.
We go backstage. There's Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors. When Io's approached by Rhea, who says, "I've heard you've got a one-on-one rematch against Naomi." And Io's like, "Yep. I mean, I didn't get pinned." And Rhea says, "I want you to win so I can beat you for that title." And very nicely, in the nicest possible way, Io grabs her arm and says, "You're never going to beat me." And they both just sort of smile about it together. This weird friendship does seem to be developing. Hamflet has been banging this drum for Rio to become a thing. I could see it happening after title exploits. Makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately for me, one of my least favorite things in pro wrestling is Rhea Ripley. Like, turning her head from side view into the eyes of her opponent or someone she respects or someone, whatever. And that big smile on her face, like, yeah, we're going to do some epic bacon soon. And knowing how long these Levesque things go on, basically my entire life. Weekly updates on that. Don't want it. So, I don't like Rhea Ripley anymore.
Really?
I think she's so over-directed. Is this sort of like everything she does is framed as this cool epic moment. And I get that you kind of have to do that if you want to promote somebody as a star, but like, I don't know, I think WWE is so like in love with the Rhea Ripley presentation that it's feeling very smug to me right now.
Bayley is looking for Lyra Valkyria backstage. And when they see each other, Lyra doesn't want to hear any apologies. She doesn't care what Bayley was trying to do. She can no longer challenge Becky for this women's IC title anymore because of Bayley, basically. And she says Bayley doesn't understand. She needs to get out of the Bayley vortex. Neither of them are champions right now. They're not good for each other. Stay out of my way going forward. Horrible to see two friends break up like this.
I couldn't care less.
Then we got Dominik Mysterio versus Dragon Lee. Dom thought it was a good idea to slap Dragon Lee to start this match. It wasn't. Lee sent him over the top rope, hit a tope, punched him in the corner. But Dom fought back by dropping Lee neck first off the ropes. Tried for a 619. Dragon Lee avoided it. But then Dom hits a DDT on the apron to take us to a break. When we come back, Dom runs into an elbow. Lee hits a super kick, makes his comeback. He removes the elbow pad and it's a flying forearm for 2. Dom tried to walk the ropes, but just got hit with a sit-out powerbomb by Dragon Lee instead. I like the bit where Mysterio set Lee on the top rope, but slipped, which put him in the perfect position to Dragon Lee to do that stomp on them. And then suddenly, El Grande Americano appears. And then a second El Grande Americano appears, which I think we saw. Was that last week, Nicholas, the first time we saw a second El Grande Americano?
So, yeah.
The more sort of, let's say, British variant, perhaps. But then a third El Grande Americano.
Yeah, this guy loves it.
I said put him in War Games. That's what you're doing for me. That allowed, all these distraction obviously allows Dom to hit him with the boot again, like he did to AJ Styles to get the win. Post-match, AJ runs down, sends him outside, has a moment with Dragon Lee. I mean, is this his thing now? Take your boot off and hit him with it?
Yeah.
How is that any different from kicking someone? Or is it like a loaded boot, perhaps?
I don't know. It probably hurts less, if anything.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't, but if I kicked you in the face...
You'd want your foot and the boot.
Yeah, because the force of my foot is pretty... And yeah, whereas just like hitting you, I'm sure it hurt.
It should be like, it'd be like such an annoying pain.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would really like a boot with a heavy sole. Like
slaps a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Sharper. I don't care.
3 El Grande Americanos, though.
Yeah. But still doing it.
People thought
Who was it? I'd missed last week, so it was a Pete Dunne.
I mean, I can't
Right,
neither
okay.
confirm nor
It's
deny.
Pete Dunne then. Okay.
Whether Ludwig Kaiser is one of them or Pete Dunne. The third one, I don't know. I haven't seen anything about this. People thought they had this all figured out when Chad Gable, who's, on a lot of medication for his recovery, talked about wrestling at WrestleMania this year, and he obviously didn't. But El Grande Americano did, and then he's in a sling for rotator cuff surgery, and then 2 El Grande Americanos show up, and neither of them are in a sling. So showed them, didn't we? Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket? Backstage, Sami Zayn is being.
What's that?
I think it's a Shane Gillis bit. Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
Do the face. Do the face that he does.
Me and Nicholas were enjoying this last week. He's on this show, and someone's cooking in the kitchen, and he goes, he's got this crap joke where he says, "Who's we? Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?" I was laughing about it for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, he loves it, doesn't he?
He loves it.
Look at him.
God.
Backstage, Sami Zayn is very briefly interviewed about his match about Karrion Kross. That is not a good sign. So you beat Karrion Kross. What next? No, Karrion's talking to Jackie Redmond and says, look, it wasn't about proving anything to Karrion Kross. Really wants to hit him with a steel pipe.
What was it about then? Why did I have to watch it 3 times?
Maybe other people wanted to see me hit him with a steel pipe, but I need to keep my eyes on the prize. I want to be a world champion, but he wants to do it the right way. But then he's caught in the middle of this ongoing Sheamus Rusev brawl, basically, to set up a match for next week.
Yeah. Again, Sami Zayn's not... This is the lowest he's felt.
Kross is appearing very rapidly. Yep, get that out of the way.
Yeah.
I think his contract expires this weekend.
This weekend?
That's what Andy was saying, yeah.
Well, not looking forward to the discourse on that one.
But the good news is, I suppose, if we've got is it Sami Rusev next week? I think they announced later on in the show.
That's not bad matchmaking at all, to be fair.
Sami Rusev means you probably won't have to watch Rusev Sheamus, because that's your last Raw, isn't it, for a bit?
Yeah, before I go on my holiday.
Wacky summer being
my
as it is.
fatherly duties.
Where you going again?
Cos.
Very nice.
Oh my God.
I don't know why, it's just the way you said it.
Cos.
It's like I said, why are you going on holiday? Cos.
I just couldn't remember because it's usually Crete. But I know
Yes,
it's not
that's what I was
Crete.
expecting you to say.
Did Mallorca last year. Not doing Cos. Cos this year. Gonna get gyros, cocktails, lovely memories.
Becky Lynch comes out. She's sort of in a tracksuit version of her husband's suit here, which was a nice touch. And she talks about, sorry, Lyra, I'm going to be champion for a long old time.
If Hamlet was on this podcast, he'd be drawing all the parallels between Seth and Becky and doing this 15-minute spiel on why she might be joining the Vision. Luckily for you, he isn't.
But then, bing bong, excuse me.
He's still stuck with him.
She's interrupted by, and let's be honest, which journalists out there called Nikki Bella being the next person to challenge Becky Lynch? Nikki Bella comes out.
We did process of elimination in the entire women's roster.
Yeah, I said she was the only babyfaces to win on the road to SummerSlam, and they didn't have any matches.
Good deduction, though.
Thank you.
Should charge $10 a month for that.
She remembers when she first met Becky and when she was starting out and how talented she was, and said, I knew it was going to be okay to step away from this business because it was going to be in good hands. But you turned out to be such a disappointment, says Nikki. You stabbed everyone in the back and you literally handcuffed a generation.
I like that line.
That was a nice
Good.
touch. This is the best the division has ever been. But why did you come back? Were you really that jealous, or was Hollywood not what you thought it was going to be? And Becky immediately was like, hey, wait a second. I'm in Happy Gilmore too. And I remember seeing you on set. Didn't see you in the film, though. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't make it into the film. Your scene was cut. And she basically claimed credit for having Nikki cut out the film.
Again, a nice...
Yeah, it was lovely
Sure,
stuff.
Hamlet was describing this as Shakespeare in his head.
Right, question. Tangent. He's off. He's off on holiday tomorrow, I believe, for a long family holiday. Do you think he'll keep true to his promise to maybe step out of the bubble for a bit?
Yeah.
I like doing it. I like when I was off, whenever it was, a couple of weeks ago, I was only in Birmingham, so I could easily, and I was just like, I'm just going to have a week. I think it's really good as a wrestling fan.
I think he can do it because he's able to just snap out of Twitter. He's been doing it before he goes on holiday.
Yeah.
He's not been on it for about a month, I don't think. He often does it annually around Christmas as well. He can take himself off Twitter, which will help, because other than the great work done at whatculture.com/WWE, like, it's just so easy to just get caught up in discourses on Twitter. It's just so much more addictive than like our website, you know? So I believe in him. I believe he can do it. Well, I was going to say something else there as well. I will say, it's challenging to take yourself off Twitter on a family holiday, right? Because the TV, I'm not saying I put my kids in front of the TV at all hours of the day, but after you've done your activity on a weekend and you're winding down and the kids need to kind of just be relaxed a bit.
I've started getting back into quiz shows now.
Yeah. Because the TV factor on a holiday, there's TVs in like most hotel rooms these days, but you don't want to go, right, have an hour or two in front of the telly.
Yeah,
you
it's
just don't
weird
want
on
to do
holiday,
that
yeah.
on holiday, you know? Also, when you've got kids who, at the age Hamlet's are at, and mine, you can, tablet or, here's a notebook, do some crafting or whatever. You still can't have like 2 hours uninterrupted to yourself, where on holidays gone by, when I was like a teenager on family holidays, I would just read a book. I would take books and stuff. You can't, I don't think you'll want to take a book because you could just be getting lost in that wonderful book zone. And then you feel like you can't get into it because someone's going to need your attention. That's Twitter. I can't get off Twitter on family holidays. It's the perfect, right, I can't read a book. I'm not putting the telly on. There is a slow getting ready process before we go for an evening meal. I'm going to go on Twitter. That's what I'm doing. So I still believe in him, though.
I think Twitter is one thing. I think I'm fairly certain with the time difference, Raw is like on at breakfast time. That's fatal.
That is fatal.
So that boy.
Cereal at the right time. Cereal and wrestling, but at the perfect time for one another. Oh, yeah.
I hope he has a lovely time.
No, same.
So Nikki fires back after Becky claims that she got cut out of Happy Gilmore too. She said, "I'm sick of all this. You're a liar just like your husband." And I was like, ooh. But you want to know the difference? The big difference is we all bought Seth's eyes. No one buys your BS. I see right through you, Becky. You're the same insecure, scared little girl that came into this division. And Becky says, "Do not talk about me and my hot husband," which gets a bit of a pop. We're the greatest wrestling couple of all time. But wait a minute. I was like, oh, no, don't do it. She's like, at one point, that would have been you and... and everyone's like, oh.
It got the biggest reaction of the entire night. I think this has got genuinely a bigger pop than, spoiler alert, CM Punk coming in the main event.
And then she's like, oh, wait a minute. You can't see him anymore. And it was like, whoa, she said the thing.
Usually I hate this so much. And again, the women in WWE are all too often like scripted to mention bad relationships gone awry or defined by their men almost. You can justify it with the reaction this got potentially because they went banana for this.
It's huge. Nikki says she wants to fight a one-on-one. That never happened in the past. Put your IC title on the line against me. And Becky's like, you know why we never went one-on-one? Because, and then she just sucker punches Nikki Bella and Bales to close out a really good segment.
This is a really, really effective, loud interaction that is going to build to a match that's going to feel pretty goddamn big as a result of it. it had some genuinely good lines, like the handcuff generation line, how that, resulted from the thread of the SummerSlam match. And, you got your big gasp lines, but they got the gasp. So, I thought this was really effective.
Yeah, me too. We also have a backstage interview following this with Naomi. Byron Saxton gives her credit for calling her shot at SummerSlam. Naomi feels great about the win. She warned everybody, don't be shocked when I walk out as the women's world champion. Next week, she's going to put the title on the line against Io Sky. And then she's interrupted by Stephanie Valkyria, who says, shut up. Whether it's you or Io Sky, I'm going to be taking the title, basically. La Primera wins it at Clash in Paris. And Naomi says, I'm going to take those devil horns of yours and shove them so far up your arse, you'll be walking out of Paris with a limp. And then she cackled, and I laughed as well.
If the cackle's good and the cackle's over.
Yeah. I love Naomi. I don't think Stephanie Valkyria should win.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Some bad news after this. Michael Cole informing us that Gunther is going to be out of action indefinitely following his injury at SummerSlam. I think there was already reports of some sort of nose issue. So I hope he's all right with his recovery to that one.
And it kind of makes sense as well, where they've painted themselves into a corner to a degree with Gunther, because he kind of has to win loads, otherwise that aura's not the same. I will say, I give him pelters for being such a boring, uninspiring, cowardly bitch of a political operator whose entry into the world of professional wrestling made it irreversibly and profoundly worse. But Triple H, I've talked at length for years about the problem with booking a monster in pro wrestling under this relentless episodic model. Like, why isn't Lance Archer over as he used to be? He used to be the example. It's like, because look at the archetype he's playing. You can't really, as soon as he eats too many losses, it's kind of gone. Like, Gunther has been booked magnificently well, realistically.
He has. I think Cole mentioned it during the Punk match. He said something like he's been
80%. Oh, sorry.
He's been pinned like 4 times or something, which is insane.
Now, there's done a remarkable job. A bit of time off before it gets maybe a bit boring or whatever, or like a rethink on maybe turning babyface. Like, time off in wrestling is almost invariably a good thing.
Yeah.
As long as the injury's minor or whatever.
And I love the idea of and it might take a while to get through this, as you alluded to, but beats Punk, beats Roman, beats Jay even. And he's like, finally, clear path just to be the Vision and World Champion. Gunther comes back and he's like, and it's like, I'd want the it's a very tired thing. I'd want the gauntlet. Gunther versus Bron Breakker, Gunther versus Bronson Reed, and then Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah, I think he's going to get a huge pap when he comes back.
He should, I think. If you notice, he never really gets watch chance anymore. The buy-in on Gunther is proper.
And then a real scary moment on Monday Night Raw. Becky Lynch is walking backstage and she's confronted by Natalya, who's not happy about the way Becky Lynch treated Nikki Bella right there, and she challenged to a match. And Becky said yes, and I said, No! But Swerve, thank God. Oh, she was talking about Maxine Dupree instead. Yeah! I was like, I went from the lowest of the lowest to the highest of the highs after that.
I do appreciate Natty being like the great mutter of Natalya, who goes to Bloodsport to Rage Against the Machine.
That's awesome, yeah.
And apparently is good. Why is Natalya still not good in WWE then? We'll see. What's the conundrum? Is WWE bad or is Natalya bad? Why not both?
Main event of the night, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Seth Rollins versus L.A. Knight. Yeah, Alicia Taylor does the big intros, and Knight just nails him with a right hand straight out of the gate, stomps him in the corner. Rollins fights back. Knight caught him with a suplex and a neck breaker. Rollins gets sent to the outside, but then uses Paul Heyman as a human shield. Bounces Rollins' head off the announce table, but Rollins responds by sending Knight into the barricade and then hitting a big stomp, jumping off it to take us to a break. When we come back, Rollins tries going up top, but Knight does that thing where he catches him up there and superplexes him for a 2 count. Knight hit a power slam too, but Rollins blocked his jumping elbow. Goes to the buckle bombs. Too early for the stomp. Knight reverses into a reverse Death Valley driver for 2. They're both down. Knight gets up first, but Rollins is playing possum. Tries for a curb stomp, tries for a pedigree, but they both miss, and LA Knight hits a DDT. He gets that springboard top rope elbow, but this time the BFT is blocked, and Rollins bails outside. Knight sends him to into the announce table with a baseball slide and does the thing where he bounces his head off the table again with the yeah chants. Goes to pick him up, but Rollins basically just headbutts him in the cock, doesn't he? Sends Knight into the post, beats him up, tears apart the padding ringside, drags him over to the exposed concrete after sending him into the post again, sets up for the stomp, but suddenly CM Punk flies through the crowd and starts beating on Seth Rollins, and it goes to a DQ. Shall I just go through to the end of this?
Yeah, skip to the end.
Okay. So Rollins tries to leave, Punk follows after him, but then Bron Breakker comes in and spears him. Bronson Reed arrives and takes out LA Knight in the ring. Breakker speared LA Knight as well. Rollins hit a stomp on Punk. They've all just laid out these two guys. They stand tall. They do the little signature thing, whatever it's called, in the credits in the bottom corner. And they're walking out when suddenly Roman Reigns' music hits. And the OTC comes out, cleans house, takes out Breakker, takes out Reed. Rollins is in the ring. Reigns goes in after him. He bails. Breakker tries to attack Reigns from behind, but he gets cut off. But again, numbers game catches up to Roman Reigns. Reed jumps him. There's a stomp from Rollins, and everyone gets beaten down. There's a huge spear and a tsunami, several tsunamis from Reed, in fact. Pierce and the producers and what have you swarm the ring to stop all this domination. The Vision rule Monday Night Raw. They stand tall to close out this show. Oh, and Bronson Reed steals some more trainers.
Yeah. I will say, if you look at the arrangement of talent in the storyline that they're in what's just closed SummerSlam, that was not on purpose. It's the exact thing. Same thing. So, like, there are slight differences, okay? But at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins aligns with Paul Heyman, screwing CM Punk and Roman Reigns, right? 3 months later, SummerSlam, Seth Rollins screws CM Punk, still with Paul Heyman, and then they do a angle with Roman Reigns and Bron Breakker. Help me out. Is there a real difference here at all? Or has pretty much nothing happened? Other than a Money in the Bank win and a cash-in.
Yeah, they've gone off in different directions. Roman obviously went away for a while. He's only just come back. And Seth's gone in different directions with, like you say, Money in the Bank and LA Knight, and Punk's fought Cena and what have you. But they've brought it back to this, I sense, with a view to having some sort of, maybe even not like Clash in Paris, some sort of...
But not like really cool, interesting directions, like Punk's kind of, his stars dimmed. I know a lot of people like the SummerSlam match, but the John Cena stuff was rotten. Seth Rollins basically did nothing. If you went week by week from Mania to SummerSlam, you'd struggle. You'd struggle to map it. It's not memorable in the least. Just nothing ever happens on Raw. Nothing ever happens on Raw.
I just think they're setting up some sort of probably 6-man. And then that's when you introduce a new member potentially to the Vision, because I saw a lot of people saying...
I thought that's what was happening, because when they did the stip of the two Bronnies are banned from ringside, so I didn't see anything about Ricky Sainz.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to give up on the idea of them giving a about Ricky Sainz. We keep fan casting him into these scenarios.
They keep beating him on NXT, and you think,
they don't like him very much, it would seem.
Going to move him on to something else, and then maybe that's been the plan. They've just gone, actually, we're not going to use him for a few more weeks if you want him. You just wrote him off on telly. What are you talking about? I don't know. But yeah, so there's going to be some sort, and there's always, you've always got one eye, especially now on the War Games.
I will say, right, who could possibly care about Seth Rollins other than you? I don't care about this main event picture on Raw right now. I think it's incredibly stale. I welcome and think there could be good, these verbal interactions between Punk and LA Knight.
Yes.
Who are getting in each other's way. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah. We'll wait to see how this goes. But let us know your thoughts on the Raw after SummerSlam, as we'll call it. in the comment section below, or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch there, you can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
You can follow our producer Adam Nicholas at
It's Adam Nicholas.
And you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. As I said, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Our entire 2-night SummerSlam review is available right now, of course. And we'll be back later on today to preview NXT. But for now, it's been the Raw review. My thanks to Michael Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.